right, we are back. Sasha Day Game, James Marshall, and man, we got into some cool stuff. You know, you guys were talking about ayahuasca. I think that if we do not talk about that, we will get a shitload of YouTube comments and emails and stuff. But yeah, I mean, what happened? What happened for you guys?
Well, for me, I've been doing it. We did a 10 days in the jungle in Peru.
And your first time doing it was with Sasha, right?
Yeah, it was. And then I also went and did another month last year, so I did a much more extended period. For me, it's been completely life-changing and absolutely fucking awesome. It's not something that I would recommend to beginners of spiritual pursuits. It's not something I would think you should ever do recreationally, or that you should do without very deep research of the person that's doing it.
And let me actually ask you, like, what prompted you to do it? I mean, everybody's curious about it, I get it, but would you say that it's a necessity?
No, I don't think it's a necessity. But for me, I mean, I've been meditating, I've been doing a lot of different types of spiritual pursuits since I was 17 years old. And I guess I'd reached a point where I'd kind of stagnated in my spirituality, so I'd gotten just more into a hedonistic lifestyle and like probably too much into business and just into too much worldly stuff. Yeah. And I felt like I needed a reset and recheck on that. Because of our networks, we know a lot of weird people.
Right,
all around the world, of every type of weirdness, from aristocracy to weird shamans to bondage masters to whatever. And so, we have access to these kind of people that recommended the right people to go to. So for me, it really was like kind of an exam that tested me on all the things that I'd ever learned about meditation and mantra and posture and all of this kind of stuff. And for me, it was the thing that really resolved the very heavy-duty breakup that I had with my ex-wife. It was the thing that really allowed me to let go of any anger and sadness and actually just step through that, which was an amazing process. And then, and also to be able to be fearless and to be in a state of really amazing flow for the last year and a half.
And before I get into you, Sasha, I think what's interesting, a lot of people I know who do like a heavy hallucinogenic like ayahuasca or iboga, which are very, very different. They don't carry it with them, and I think that's an important thing. What I hear from you, because we've talked about it too, is, and actually what I can see from you, and we'll get into it, but like that's like a point of change. It's a turning of the corner, but you've got to walk.
Yes.
And so I think that what adaptations have you made to your life since, having some of those breakthroughs?
It's been about moving through life with joy. That was the big message that came out of it, because for me, my core value was never happiness. That was never something that I was actually striving for. My core value was always mastery, which was simply to become a master of a function. I didn't really care whether or not I was happy, because to me that seemed like a kind of an earthly desire and a transitory thing, and it wasn't really relevant. But I think the really big thing that I came out of that was that joy in everyday living is vital, because yes, I am still on paths of mastery. That still is really important to me, but at the same time, every one of these moments that I have is really fucking precious. And as you get older, you start to get more understanding of your mortality. Cool. And so that was a big thing. And so going through, because my life has become much, much busier. I used to be a musician bum, and now I'm running a very complicated international business. And I'm responsible for the growth of hundreds of guys that come to me, and that's like a heavy responsibility. But the last year I've been twice as busy as I ever was, or 5 times busier, but it's had a much more joyful flow to it. I don't feel stressed out about it. I just go day by day, and I'm like, all right, here I am on this workshop, or here I am with this lover, or here I am, sitting on a mountain playing music, or whatever it is, and that's been really important.
Cool. And then Sasha,
I shat my pants.
Well, did you not shit your pants?
I didn't shit my pants.
Oh, okay.
And I did watch him do that. Yes. And I watched him curled up in a ball, puking on himself, shitting on himself all night, and then he got up and just howled in this inhuman scream for half an hour. The most terrifying thing I've ever seen or heard a human being do. And the next day I was like, what the fuck was that? He's like, what? When you were howling like a fucking banshee and thrashing yourself around and smashing your head on the ground. He's like, no, I wasn't doing that. It's like, yes, you were. He doesn't remember it.
Yeah, I had a really tough trial for those. I felt some of the joy in a different one we did, but for the 4 ones we did over 10 days, I just went through absolute hell. There's no way to explain it other than being in absolute torment and suffering and just the brutality of it. And getting to a point where I was like, okay, death would be great. Like just being like, yep, bring death on, because that would just be awesome for this to end. And I think there are lessons in that, but different lessons. But so for me, it was really just really a real trial. But I learned later that it's actually a shamanic sort of initiation that you go through. Sometimes it's like an ego death, and it really is. There's a point to it, but it takes a long time to actually come to grips with it and sort of piece it together.
I think.
But I would warn everybody who wants to get into that stuff. Just put
yeah, and
aside. Just
I
be
would
careful.
think that like what's important, because I know a lot of people who've done it who haven't gone on to change. I mean, they will say it was the most amazing thing, and I killed my ego, and then their life goes back to normal, you know. And so I think that what's interesting is that, you know, seeing in both of you guys and actually hearing you talk about it is that afterwards was like it set you on a path, and the real discipline was being on that path. And
because that's the same as when a guy comes into a boot camp. It's like, especially if it's a long-term boot camp or a very intense one or a lot of personal attention, in a way they just get grabbed by the collar and lifted up to heights because they have the support of the coaches and they're in that environment and they're out doing stuff because they're being kicked in the ass to do it, and suddenly they're meeting all these girls and doing all this amazing stuff, and maybe they suddenly get laid, or you know, all this incredible stuff happens.
And 2 weeks after the course, so have you been talking to chick?
right,
Not really.
Life happens.
Why not? Well, yeah, okay.
So it's I mean, you come to a mentor for inspiration and for tutelage, and that will definitely help you cut many years off the trial and error path. But at the end of the day, when you step out from the master or from the tutor, then you have to just take those daily steps. And that's the same with these kind of spiritual experiences. You can go to a person who is resonating at an incredibly high spiritual level, and they can touch you on the forehead or give you a hug or something and give you a transmission where you suddenly just feel like, fuck yeah, it all makes sense, or whatever else it is. But really that's just a taste of them, of what they get to experience, and that won't stay with you. And so a lot of people just bounce around from guru to guru looking for that hit. Yeah, and that's why you'll see sometimes in these kind of conferences, guys come year after year after year, and you're like, well, that's not good that you're coming back year after year, unless it is because you're wanting to hit the next level.
I remember this was a funny moment, but I was at a convention and Eric Hypnotica said like, why the hell are you guys still here? Like, this is like the fourth time I've seen you. What are you moving? And man, but he put it in a really good way. But hey, that being said, what's happening for you guys? You guys are doing a movie. You know, what's coming up in the future for you? Like, what's happening there?
Yeah, we at some point because we're just having these crazy adventures that, you know, to us are becoming normal again. So
that are already kind of being documented.
We already go around, and then at some point we're like, well, this would be a great thing just to have fun and have a movie out there showing people the crazy shit we get up to, a little bit of promotion, but a little bit of crazy fun times. And so we did it. We just had my video guy he just followed us around for one of the courses, and yeah, we had some inspirational moments. We had some emotion, and I think it'll be really fun for people to watch and just actually get a real look into what we're really fucking doing.
So that's kind of cool. He's just following you around, kind of like
We did a whole workshop and with a bunch of guys who agreed to be on camera, and then we filmed
everything.
Absolutely everything that happens over a 10-day workshop.
That's a great style of filmmaking. Cinema verite. John Cassavetes. The most American, both of you guys not American, of filmmakers.
So that's coming out when?
I think it'll be ready in like early next year. I think.
Awesome.
It'll be ready.
Wow.
Coming to a YouTube channel near you.
That's right. And maybe, just maybe, an actual movie cinema. Who knows?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
For me, next year is going to be my biggest coaching year ever.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to be. And it's probably going to be the last big coaching year that I do at that intensity. So I mean, both of us are pretty strict about how many guys we teach. We don't teach massive groups.
Sure.
Yeah, I never teach more than 2-on-1. So next year I'm teaching 65 guys, and that's all. But that's going to be over a bunch of very big and intense
That's
workshops.
actually a lot with your, with the amount of guys you take on.
Right. So I'm going to be based in Europe, and I'm going to be running workshops. When I get back to Australia soon, I'm not doing nothing, so please don't contact me for the next 3 months. I just will ignore you. But from March next year, I'm going to be hitting the ground running hard and doing workshops all through Europe over summer, and then also coming back to the States in October and running a couple there. And also putting out my book as well for next year, which is something that's been sitting there like 90% done for the last 4 years. And I've been running around the world going, I should get back to that, but right now I've got to go to Morocco.
I've been working on my book since 2008, goddammit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Similar for me, really. Just yeah, it'll be a busy year doing coaching, but I just want to move away from it. I've got my coaches in place, and I want to.
Cool.
I think I can help more people because I learned from my videos that like I can help so many people buy videos that are free. So now it's like, well, now I can make some products and help more people and more in depth and make money at it. So why wouldn't I do that? So same thing, getting my book out, got a couple of products lined up, and yeah, just going to continue on my spiritual path and help as many people as I can, and that's it.
Cool, man. Awesome stuff. We're pretty much out of time. Yeah, I will say this. You too, as soon as we were saying that we were going to do podcasts and stuff like this, Sasha, James, Marshall, Sasha, James, Marshall, Sasha, James. So we got it, but we'll have to come back, most definitely, and do this sort of thing. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.
Man, thank you guys so much for watching and being a part of this channel, this experience, and this dialogue that we are building with all of you. Please leave a comment. Please share us on social media. And of course, subscribe to us on the red button down below and get plugged into all the cool stuff that we're doing. I'm Steve Mayeda, signing off. Thanks for watching.